Welcome to a summary of a story that took place in the Middle Age, called The Prince and the Pauper. This story is pretty much about two young boys who are identical in appearance. Tom Candy, as a pauper who leaves his father abusive, and the Prince Edward, son of the King Henry IV, written by Mark Twain.
Pauper, where Tom Canty and the Prince Edward are born in London on the same day. Tom, however, is unwanted, and Edward has been long awaited. While the prince lies robed in his skills, Tom grows up in the fleet of an awful court. As a small child, Tom is forced by his father to beg during the day and is beaten by him at night. Gathering a ragtag court of street urchins around him, Tom often pretends that he is a prince. Father Andrew, a priest who lives in Tom's house, teaches Tom to read.
One day, hoping to see Prince Edward of England, Tom visits the royal presence, but when he approaches too near, he is cuffed by a guard and ordered. Edward, who has witnessed the incident, protects Tom and takes the young bearer into the palace. There, in the privacy of Edward's chamber, Tom confesses his longing to be a prince. When the two boys exchange garments, they discover that they are identical in appearance. Before they can switch clothes again, Edward is mistaken for the beggar boy and thrown out of the palace. He wanders helplessly in the streets, mocked by people whom he approaches with pleas that they pay homage to him as their rightful prince. Meanwhile, having had the role of King of England thrust upon him, Tom is slowly learning to conduct himself royally, because his attendants thought him mad. He is able to be honest about his lack of training and his failure to recall events that would have been familiar to Edward. At the same time, his gradual improvement offers hope that his derangement is only temporary. John Canty lures Edward from Miles' protection and takes the boy to Southward to join a pack of thieves there. Himself king, Edward again becomes the center of ridicule. One of the thieves, Hugo, undertakes to teach Edward the tricks of his trade. Making his escape, Edward wanders to a farmhouse where a king woman pitying the poor, insane beggar boy who declares himself King of England. Fits him. Edward wanders onto the hut of a hermit who accepts Edward's claim to royalty. In turn, the hermit, who indeed is mad, reveals to Edward that he is an archangel. While Edward sleeps, the hermit broods over the wrongs done by King Henry. Believing Edward to be the king, as he has claimed, he permits plans to murder him. He manages to tie up the boy while he sleeps. John and Hugo, following the trail of the escaped waif, rescue him and force him to rejoin the band of Rose. Again, he is compelled to aid Hugo in his dishonest trade. At last, Miles finds the boy and saves him.
Both struggle to adapt to new lives, although each of them says that they are not what they appear to be. Tom survives at the palace to enjoy life as a prince, and he uses his power to change unjust laws. Edward hates a life with John Candy, and he careers with poverty, pain, and death every single day. Survive your trio with help to another person, who was Miles Hendon. In the palace, it is thought that the prince has gone mad because he can recall no one of the royal matters that he is supposed to know. King Henry issues an edict that no one should discuss the royal lapses of memory, and Edward's half-sister, Princess Elizabeth, his cousin, Lady Jane Grey, and his weeping boy, Sir Humphrey Marlowe, kindly tried to aid the supposed prince, who by this time is too frightened to confess that he is Tom Candy, a beggar dressed in the prince's clothes. Miles, when brought before the rightful King Edward, exercised his privilege of sitting in the king's presence. At first, he had the doubt that he waived was really the king, but when Edward orders his outraged guards to permit that disrespectful act, Miles knows that his young friend had not been insane after all. Edward confers Miles' title of Earl and strips Hawke of his titles and land. After Hawke dies, Miles marries with Edith, who mad refused to acknowledge Miles' identity because Hawke had threatened to kill Miles. May Edward's royal ward to has Edward's promise that he and his family will be honored for the rest of their lives. Edward writes many of the wrongs he had encountered during his adventures. John Canty, whom he had wanted to hang, he is never heard from again.
While he had been ill, King Henry VIII had given the great seal of the kingdom to Prince Edward for safekeeping. Henry now demands the return of his seal, but Tom reports that he does not know where it is. The Prince of Wales is still wandering the streets as a homeless waif when King Henry dies. Edward is found by John Canty, Tom's father, and brought to awful court, but during the royal celebration of the ascension to the throne of the Prince of Wales, Edward escapes from his supposed father, again tormented by crows who laugh at his protests that he is the King of England. Edward is rescued by Miles Hendon, a dish-herited knight and the son of a baronet. Thinking Edward is mad, Miles pities the little boy and pretends to pay him the homage due to a monarch.